Orion is a constellation filled with many bright stars and is most visible during winter in the northern hemisphere. It is a region of the sky brimming with the potential for stellar birth and home to countless young stars. Even now, stars and planetary systems are actively forming in this part of the galaxy. The Orion constellation hosts a total of 81 stars, and 2 of them rank among the brightest in the entire night sky. Its modern name is derived from the mythical hunter of Greek mythology. There are many versions of Orion's story. One of them tells of a strikingly handsome hunter, son of the sea god Poseidon and Uriel. Orion is said to have fallen in love with the Pleiades, the 7 sisters, daughters of Atlas and Pleione. To end his pursuit, Zeus placed all of them in the sky, giving rise to the constellation Orion. The star cluster known as the Pleiades can be observed in the constellation Taurus, with Orion beside them, eternally chasing. Another famous version tells of Orion's death. The goddess Artemis sent a scorpion to kill him. And so, whenever the constellation Scorpius rises in the sky, Orion appears to flee in an eternal chase across the heavens. The main stars listed in order of proximity are Bellatrix, Betelgeuse, Siph, Rigel, Mysa, and Orion's Belt, or, as it is popularly known, the 3 Kings, made up of the stars Alnitak, Alnilam, and Mintaka. Let's take a closer look at the constellation. Let's begin with the nearest stars, and among the major ones in the Orion constellation, Bellatrix is the closest. As we approach the constellation, we immediately notice that it looks drastically different from what we see from Earth. The stars are not neatly aligned as they appear to be from our perspective. Between the main stars that shape the figure of Orion, there are many others scattered throughout the constellation. Stars we cannot see with the naked eye from Earth. Bellatrix is located 243 light-years from Earth. It is a young and powerful blue giant star, only 25 million years old. That might sound like a lot, but for a star, that is just the beginning of its life. To give some perspective, our Sun and Earth are about 4.6 billion years old, nearly 200 times older. The name Bellatrix comes from Latin and means female warrior. In the Alphonsine tables, it was also referred to as the Amazon star. This star marks the right shoulder of the hunter Orion in the celestial figure. Bellatrix is about 5.5 times the diameter of our Sun, and its surface burns at a scorching 20,000 degrees Celsius. Betelgeuse is the alpha star of Orion and one of the most iconic stars in the night sky. It is the 10th brightest star visible from Earth and shines with a distinct reddish hue. This monstrous red supergiant is located about 548 light-years from Earth. It is so massive that comparing it to the Sun does not do it justice. We have to compare it to the entire inner solar system. Although it is already in an advanced stage of its stellar life, Betelgeuse is much younger than our Sun, only about 12 million years old. It evolved off the main sequence very quickly and shows strong signs that it is nearing the end of its life. In fact, astronomers believe it could go supernova within the next few 100,000 years. Saiph is a brilliant blue supergiant located 721 light-years from Earth. Its name comes from Arabic, Saif al-Jabbar, which literally means the sword of the giant. Like many of Orion's stars, Saiph is very young in cosmic terms, at around 10 million years old, about 450 times younger than our Sun. Its size is impressive. It has a diameter 10 times greater than the Sun and a surface temperature of about 25,700 degrees Celsius. It shines 6,000 times brighter than our own star. Rigel, also known as Beta Orionis, is another stellar giant well known for its enormous size and luminosity. Even though it is farther away than the other stars we have visited so far, Rigel is still the seventh brightest star in our night sky. From Earth, it looks like a single point of light, but is actually a multiple star system made up of 3 intensely luminous blue stars. The main component, Rigel A, is a blue supergiant with a diameter 78 times greater than the Sun's. If Rigel were in place of our Sun, it would engulf both Mercury and Venus. The Rigel B system includes 2 blue main sequence stars, slightly larger than our Sun, with diameters approximately 3 and 2 times that of the Sun. The entire Rigel system is estimated to be around 10 million years old, still very young by stellar standards. Orion's Belt, or as it is commonly known in various cultures, the Three Kings, or the Three Wise Men, is one of the most recognizable features in the night sky. These are the only stars in the Orion constellation that are relatively close to one another and aligned from our point of view. They are located about 1,500 light-years from Earth. We will just pass by them briefly, since we have already explored them in more detail in a previous journey. Alnitak, Alnilam, and Mintaka are all brilliant blue giant stars, incredibly luminous and also very young. Astronomers believe these stars were born from the same primordial nebula, and their ages are estimated to be approximately 4, 3, and 2 million years, respectively. Like everything else in the universe, stars are constantly on the move, and the stars in Orion are no exception. They are gradually drifting apart. However, because they are located so far from Earth, the constellation will appear unchanged to us for a very long time, even as other constellations slowly shift and morph. Today, we see Orion in its familiar shape, but it has not always looked this way, and in a few 100,000 years, the pattern will transform entirely. One event that could significantly alter the appearance of Orion is the anticipated supernova explosion of Betelgeuse, which could happen anytime in the next few 100,000 years, leaving behind a dark void where the hunter's shoulder once shone. The Orion Nebula, also cataloged as M42, is one of the brightest nebulas in our night sky. It is easy to spot. Positioned just below Orion's belt, it is the only nebula in Orion that can be seen with the naked eye from Earth, an immense and breathtaking cloud of gas and stellar dust stretching near the center of the constellation, in the region known as Orion's Sword. The Orion Nebula is located approximately 1,400 light-years from Earth. Using the fastest spacecraft we currently have, a trip to the nebula would take around 25 million years. The Orion Nebula is a diffuse nebula, which means it both reflects the light from the stars within it and emits radiation from the excitement of gases in its clouds. It is a gigantic and colorful cloud extending over 45 light-years. That is more than 10 times the distance between the Sun and Alpha Centauri, our closest neighboring star. This nebula is one of the most extensively studied objects through telescopic observation, and also one of the most photographed. Many incredible images have been captured over the years. Its blue hues are emitted by oxygen, the reddish glow comes from hydrogen, and the violet-blue shades are reflections of intense starlight. In the central region of the nebula, temperatures reach nearly 10,000 degrees Celsius, and internal cloud motion can exceed 180,000 kilometers per hour. These types of nebulas can contain hundreds of thousands of times the mass of the solar system. The presence of both hydrogen and oxygen suggests that water may also exist within. This space is bathed in lethal ionizing radiation and filled with filaments of incandescent hydrogen. This is where stars are born. So far, astronomers have discovered over 3,000 stars inside the Orion Nebula, along with giant clouds of interstellar gas and a large number of protostars. The nebula is a stellar nursery. Inside, matter clumps together, ignites nuclear fusion, and begins to shine as a newborn star. A wave of star formation began here around 12 million years ago. So far, astronomers have detected at least 700 stars and 150 planetary systems currently forming within the Orion Nebula. The formation of solar systems is actually quite common throughout the universe. The Orion Nebula is a fantastic natural laboratory for astronomers. Many of our most important studies on star formation and evolution have been made based on observations of this single nebula. In our Milky Way, on average, one new solar system forms every month. Across the observable universe, that rate jumps to roughly 1,000 new systems every second. Inside the Orion Nebula, we can identify several distinct structures, but the most prominent is the trapezium cluster, also known as Theta 1 Orionis. It is an open star cluster around 300,000 years old, composed of 8 primary components. Some of these are binary stars, while others are solitary. The most visible and brightest members of the cluster are 4 stellar systems, labeled with Latin letters, located very close to one another. They occupy a region about 1.5 light-years in diameter. Each of these stars has a mass between 15 and 40 times that of our Sun, meaning they are extremely young and hot. The most massive and luminous among them is Theta 1 Orionis C, which dominates not just the cluster, but the entire nebula. Theta 1 Orionis C is a white-blue main-sequence star with a mass of approximately 40 solar masses and a diameter 8 times larger than the Sun. Its surface temperature reaches an astonishing 44,700 degrees Celsius, and it shines with a luminosity about 250,000 times greater than the Sun. The radiation from Theta 1 Orionis C illuminates the entire surrounding nebula, but there is almost no interstellar gas nearby. That is typical for objects of this class. It ejects an exceptionally powerful stellar wind that pushes away the surrounding material. The night sky from one of the future celestial bodies forming inside the Orion Nebula would be nothing short of spectacular. Let us head toward one such hypothetical planet and see what the view might look like. Imagine a luminous, multicolored veil hanging in the sky, with the brilliance of a crowd of nearby stars, far more numerous and dazzling than anything we see from Earth. Occasionally, immense swirling clouds of glowing gas drift across the sky, covering half the heavens and transforming the night into a kind of translucent twilight. It would be an unforgettable view, but sadly, completely uninhabitable for humans due to extreme temperatures, radiation, and pressure. The Orion Nebula is a fragile and unstable object by cosmic standards. Stellar winds, gas ejections, and turbulent vortices are constantly dispersing its material into surrounding space. It has already lost about 60% of its original mass, and in about 100,000 years, the remaining gas and dust will be gone. In place of the glowing multicolored cloud, there will remain an open star cluster, similar to the Pleiades. For a time, the young stars born there will travel together, but eventually, each one will find its own path through the vast, boundless galaxy. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more journeys into space. Got a destination in mind? Share it in the comments. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next flight.